Good day, everyone. This is a detailed lesson plan in second year Radiologic Technology students by Dave Decano. So here are my objectives. Define the key terms at the beginning of this chapter. Identify basic word elements individually and within the medical terms. Lastly is to state the meanings of common word roots, prefixes, and suffixes, and identify unique plural endings. So here are my subject matter, the lesson. Basics of medical terminology. References are the internet, the Walters Kluwer book. Materials will be the Walters Kluwer book, tablet if any, and visual aids such as PDF or PowerPoint presentation. In process skill, classifying, identifying, and describing and observing the lesson objectives. In value integration, having some knowledge in a simple medical terminologies used in healthcare setting and having a foundation in using key terms in hospitals. In an online class approach, the strategy must have a communicative and collaborative between the students and the teacher. In the procedure, before the lesson plan starts, there should be a preliminary activities such as offering a short prayer, greetings of a teacher to the students, and vice versa, and the checking of attendance, and performing an energizer to boost the morale of the students. Motivating the students, it is the means by using of visual aids, the teacher presents some common terminologies and students are oriented on the following tasks wherein as if they are familiar with the words that are being presented, let them know the meaning of the term, let them apply the word in a sentence. So after this, giving feedback and leads towards to the lesson proper. So in the learning task, here in my lesson plan, there's a um somewhat typical teacher and student response wherein with it as a preparatory activities such prayer, greetings and conditioning of the classroom, and then the attendance to be checked. Then before proceeding to the lecture proper, wherein the chapter one, it is a sub objectives such as identify the three basic word elements used to build medical terms, explain the difference between a root word and the combining form, and lastly is to explain how suffixes and prefixes are used to modify root words. So in this chapter, the time allotment will be 2 hours from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Then this is my lessons, the word elements, and yeah, and identifying unfamiliar term here, the sub objectives also, the root words, this one, and providing some examples to the students will be a and here's some tips and notes that will be used for the future building of words are these. Then providing example is a and explanation will be a good thing to the students because it will be used to dissect every medical terms. This will be the coverage of the chapter 1. So in consolidation and wrap up, there will be a 15-minute break, and after that is some activities wherein They will review the exercises from the previous discussion, find medical terminology, break down each of the following terms into word elements, and from the rules from the previous discussion, find medical terminologies and build medical terms from the root words and suffixes. And lastly will be a reflection paper on the previous discussion and provide its application in the chosen profession. So this will be the end of chapter 1, and next will be um the continuation of the chapter 2. So this will be the setup. Then the objectives in chapter 2 will be the suffixes commonly used to form nouns, suffixes commonly used to form adjectives, suffixes commonly used to create singular and plural forms, and prefixes commonly used to denote number or quantity, prefixes commonly used to describe normal function, and prefixes commonly used to denote direction or location. So another is its time allotment will be 2 hours from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. So there will be an overview of this chapter. Then and we will in every chapter I provide examples so they can exercise their mind in having in knowing medical terminologies. Here are the examples are being used. So in consolidation and wrap up, um, they will form a terminology using suffixes and convert terminology from singular to plural. And last is to make a reflection about the discussion. So here I I give them assignment wherein they must have an advanced reading for the last chapter before uh, we proceed toward elements related to pathology, diagnosis, and treatment, and saying goodbye to them. So that would be the end of chapter 2. Then here in my chapter 3, there has been same as in the teachers and student response, wherein they have some communication like this to the last chapter, the lecture proper, wherein word elements commonly used to form terms related to pathology, word elements commonly used to form related to diagnostic procedures, suffixes commonly used to form terms related to the therapeutic and surgical procedures. So here are the word elements related to diagnostic procedures and its description. So just like in the previous discussion, I provided some examples to be um, the students might memorize for the future references here. So in consolidation and wrap up, activity 1 will be a building of medical terminology which describes a surgical procedure and will be dissect and make an essay on chapter 1 to 3 will be a minimum of 10 sentences. To the reflections and next steps, in assignment number 2, they will have a summative assessment for the next meeting and be sure to be ready because that would have a 200 items quiz and it's the student response po. So that would be the end of my lesson plan. Goodbye and thank you po.